In the heart of Liberia, a land once marred by the scars of a brutal civil war, there existed a village called Bomi. It was a place where ancient traditions and modern aspirations coexisted. Among the villagers there lived an elderly woman named Sata, who carried a burden heavier than anyone could fathom. Sata had been a nurse during the darkest days of the war. Her memories were filled with cries of pain and the harsh echoes of suffering. During one fateful night, a group of rebels had attacked her village, leaving devastation in their wake. Sata had lost her husband and 2 sons to the violence, and ever since that day, she carried a heavy heart filled with anger and grief. The years of pain had etched deep lines into her face, and her once vibrant eyes were clouded by bitterness. One sunny morning, a group of children were playing by the village well. Their laughter and innocence filled the air, a stark contrast to the history of their land. Sata watched them from her small, weathered hut, unable to find solace in their joy. She was imprisoned by her own resentment, refusing to let go of the past. One day, a young stranger named Amara arrived in Bomi. She had come to the village as part of a volunteer program dedicated to reconciliation and healing. She was drawn to Sata's story, sensing the heavy cloud that hung over her like a shroud. Amara was an optimist, always believing in the power of forgiveness. Amara approached Sata, gently introducing herself and her mission. Sata, initially skeptical, finally opened up about her past. She shared her pain, her anger, and her guilt over not being able to save her family. Amara listened patiently, her compassion shining through her words. She spoke of the importance of forgiveness and how it had the power to set Sata free from the chains of her past. Amara told her about the old African proverb, "To forgive is to set a prisoner free and discover that the prisoner was you." Sata, though reluctant, decided to give forgiveness a chance. She began attending the reconciliation workshops that Amara conducted. As the weeks passed, Sata started to realize the weight she had been carrying. Through sharing her story and listening to others who had also suffered, she began to heal. The turning point came when Sata met a former rebel soldier named Kwame, who had transformed his life and was now an advocate for peace. Amara had brought him to Bomi, hoping that Sata and Kwame's meeting could be a turning point in their healing journey. Their first encounter was filled with tension, but over time they shared their stories. Kwame confessed the horrors he had been a part of and the remorse that had haunted him. Sata, in turn, recounted her pain and anger. In that moment, as they listened to each other, the power of forgiveness started to work its magic. One evening, a heavy rainstorm drenched Bomi. Sata and Kwame found themselves seeking shelter in the same hut. As the rain poured outside, they began to talk. It was then that Sata uttered the words she thought she would never say, "I forgive you, Kwame." Tears welled up in Kwame's eyes as he realized the immense significance of her forgiveness. He apologized for the atrocities he had committed during the war and expressed his deep gratitude for her forgiveness. That night, as the rain continued to pour, it was as though the heavens themselves were washing away the pain of the past. Sata felt a weight lift from her heart, a weight that had been there for so many years. It was a cathartic moment of healing. From that day forward, Sata and Kwame became advocates for peace and reconciliation in their village. They worked together to create a more harmonious future for Bomi, promoting forgiveness as a path to healing and unity. The village began to flourish, and its people embraced a newfound sense of hope. Sata's transformation from a bitter and grief-stricken woman to a symbol of forgiveness and healing became a story told far beyond the borders of Bomi. Her journey showed that forgiveness could bring not only personal peace, but also the opportunity for a brighter future. In the heart of Liberia, the healing rain of forgiveness had washed away the shadows of the past. Sata's story became a beacon of hope, a testament to the enduring power of forgiveness in setting people free from their own prisons of anger and resentment.